Okay, so what are we up to today? Well, we've got the Amflow PL Carbon, and I'm keen to check out a few things. I did review the PL Carbon Pro model, and I know many of you are interested to see what the lower spec, cheaper model compared, so we'll try and do that today. Also with the Pro model, it was the large, and this is the medium, and I think I said at the time I'd be interested to try the medium, and I think this is a 452 reach. I'm 176 centimeters tall, and if you look on the sizing charts, pretty much I could ride either model. Also, I recently reviewed the Teewing, and that was a medium as well, 453, same head angle, 64.5, so very, very similar bikes. So again, I guess we could do a little bit of a direct comparison as to how the two bikes felt. I'll quickly go through the bike for you. Now it will be quick because this bike has been reviewed to death, but there's a few interesting things going here. Now, firstly, it's the big feature, of course, it's got the DJI Avinox system with the 800 watt hour battery. It's a full 29er, it's carbon, it's got a set of 36 performance Fox forks up front. It's got a float performance out the rear. It's got Magura MT5 brakes on. Interestingly enough, on this one, the owner was a little underwhelmed with the performance, and he swapped out to SLX rotors. So I'll be really interested to see what that's like. Also the drivetrain, when I checked on the website, it said GX Eagle, but on this one, it's actually got the SRAM 70. This is the wire actuated transmission drivetrain. And I believe, again, the owner was saying he may actually upgrade it to wireless, that can be done as well. So that's pretty cool. It's got a KS 150 dropper. It's got Amflow's own wheels on it. I think that covers most things. Well, of course, it's got Michelin tires on it, so we know it's going to perform pretty well in that respect. Don't worry, I will be putting my own pedals on. Everyone wants me to go flats, but we're not going flats just yet. Now, I will make one thing clear. Amflow, Teewing, I've got no skin in the game at all. Any opinion I give is just my opinion. And the most important thing about these videos really is that I have fun. If you guys learn something or enjoy the video, that's a bit of a bonus, but for me it's all about having fun. So anyway, let's get those pedals swapped over and go have some fun. Okay, so we're officially into it, and one of the things that the owner of this bike has done is has changed the order around. So we're in Eco first, and then he's gone into Auto and then Trail and Turbo, which all the other ones I've ridden, you've had Auto and then Eco. So as you've gone up in power, you've had to go through the lower powered Eco. Saying that, like most things, Eco actually feels quite good. I think he did say he pepped it up a little bit, but actually I could ride quite happily in this Eco all day. All right, and if you watch my videos, you know at Woodhill, always start with the same track, which is Halgood, and it's a really good track to warm up on because it's got nice easy low consequence jumps, but you can feel the sort of how the bike is in the air, and it actually feels really nice. Alright, see if we can whip it a little bit, eh? Well, a little bit. I'm getting to about 2 degrees now. Oh yeah, it sailed over. That is nice for a first run. Happy with that. Alright, so we're riding in an Auto for a bit. I actually quite like Auto as a setting on the DJI. Now, if you ever wondered, I know people have asked me, how do I come by all these bikes to test? And as the channel started, it was beg, borrow and steal. Now I get distributors send me them, bike shops, friends, even people I've never met before will offer me their bikes to review. So very lucky, and despite my jokes on the channel, I always take really good care of somebody else's bike. Now, saying that, there's always been that implied thing that you're going to take care of it. However, really nice guy who's lent me this bike. However, he did point out in a text that it's his own bike, it's his baby, paid for with his own money. Please be careful. So
that made me so nervous. I said, well, if you're not comfortable, you know, we don't have to do it. But he was like, no, I'm comfortable. You can ride okay. But then when I picked it up, he said, don't wash it. I'm rather particular about how it gets washed. So now I'm really nervous. So it's going to be kind of a very sensible ride. Just so not the most expensive bike I've reviewed, but it's the one I really don't want to even put a mark on it. So I probably shouldn't say that at the beginning of the video, should I? Now the other thing about these videos, I always find it really hard comparing one bike with another without being able to ride them back to back. And the other thing is, as I said in my last video, riding at Woodhill is much easier than riding at Rotorua. I ride here a lot, the trails are easier, so whenever I review a bike here, it tends to feel better than in Rotorua. But so far this is riding really nice. All right, bit of shred the needle. Just stopped at the top and wound the brake levers in a little bit. I'm the only one I know really who has the brake levers in that close to the bars. Everyone else seems to have them. I must have little tiny fingers or something, I don't know, but I like them nice and close. Otherwise, not everything's set up quite right, but I'm gonna leave it exactly how the owner had it, because I'll never remember how to put it back. But saying that, these brakes are actually working really well. I think they, as I say, I'm not quite sure what the SLX rotor hack is, but apparently that's a thing. And yeah, they are a little bit more responsive, I think. I think the owner has also cut these bars down. These feel narrower. So that's a little bit different for me, but saying that's probably good for me to try actually, because I used to run narrower bars, and since my e-bike I've gone wider. Woohoo! The medium certainly makes the bike nice and playful. I still can't decide which, at this point, whether I take the large or the medium. I always think I want the opposite bike to which one I'm riding, but can certainly pop it about. I think the owner has also put a couple of tokens in this fork as well, so it may have gone to a bit more trouble to get it set up just right. And him and me are about the same weight and height. Alright, we've put it into trail. I don't actually know how much power is in trail. One thing I do like about this system is I can, if I want to, just go onto the screen and just have a look, but I'm not going to change them all on this ride, so I'll just leave them how the owner has them. But yeah, I think he's got them all getting progressively more powerful. Now there seems to be a lot of people go on about how much power this bike has, but often what seems to get overlooked is how well the power is delivered. As I say, it's just a beautiful feeling to ride this motor. I really love it. And I'll show you a feature in just a second. So if we push it into boost, then we get 120 Newton meters and 1,000 watts of madness. Oh, that's fun car. That is actually, I've never ridden a DJI at Woodhill. That's ridiculous coming up there. That is crazy stuff. And then it's still in boost. You can just click down and turn it off if you want, and you can set the amount of time you want it to go on for. So in a lot of cases, even 10 seconds is quite a bit. Will chew through the battery if you keep doing it though, I know that from experience.
Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the video, the aim of this video was for me to have fun, and I'm definitely pulling that off. I'm also going to try the X5. I've only recently got that, still testing it, so we'll do a bit of 360 footage down fault line. All right, into it, fault line.
always a little bit unsure. I still getting used to the whole 360 camera idea, so let me know what the footage is like. But yeah, I'm still a little unconvinced. It looks a bit freaky at times. Oh, ding the rim then. I hope that's all right. Down the rocks now. I'm a bit nervous about the rim, so I'll go a bit steady. Alright, let's open it up a bit. This is a fun, fast bit. Definitely having fun on this bike, and I can't really explain it, but I like the rear shock more than I did on the Pro model. Maybe I hadn't got it set up right, but this just seems more active, plusher, and more playful. Yeah, I like it more. I do think sometimes it comes down to how well the suspension's set up, and I'm not the best at doing it, so sometimes if someone's done it for me, that can make the bike nicer to ride for sure. Yeah, the rims are alright. Man, if I put a ding in the rim, I'd just start crying at this point. Okay, so far we've done 10k and we've got 78% of the battery. If you haven't watched my other videos recently about the DJI in New Zealand, one of the other great things about it is that it does 45 kilometers an hour. So normally when you'd go across here, of course the thing would just turn off and you'd just, whereas now of course you can absolutely scream it. And I've said it before, but it's not about going fast, although I suppose you are going fast. It's about the fact that the motor always feels the same when you pedal, and that's the bit that I really like, is every time you turn the cranks, it feels exactly the same depending on what setting you've picked for it. All right, let's go find another up and down. Now, based on range, I've just put it up to turbo because I'm going to monster my way up this hill. This bike will chew through the battery if you use all of that power all the time. I went for a ride, not on this one, but same system with my wife. Did 32 Ks and had 42% of the battery still left. The next day, I think I did just on 40 and I was completely dead. So just depends on how you ride the bike. But you could certainly get a really big day if you just, eco it right down. You've got an 800 watt hour battery, and this motor can effectively be whatever you want it to be. All right, going back up the same hill. I don't know if I've ever mentioned e-bikes on this channel before, and I know a lot of people absolutely hate it, but I met some kids at the top who watched the channel, and they walked the whole way up this hill, and then they've gone down the hill, and now they're sitting down having a rest, recovering. And see, on an e-bike you just don't do that. You just monster up, monster down, monster up, monster down, and yeah, it's all good. I'm not saying everyone has to have an e-bike, but they do put the fun back in mountain biking for sure. I remember walking up hills and hating it. You could say it's character building, but I think I'm past character building. All right, bit of roots, make it a bit more interesting. No issues with that. Guess it's just the Michelin tires. One thing I am quite lucky about is that quite adaptable at changing to all different bikes I ride. And I must admit, when I first got on this, I thought, oh, it might be a little bit short, and the bars feel a bit narrow. But now I've been on it for a little bit, I'm thinking like, oh, I might even cut my own bars down. It's a little bit easier, and as for being short, I think I quite like it. It's always a trade-off. I think on really big jumps, I prefer a longer bike just for the stability. But for everything else, oh, don't get the bike wet. I think I prefer a little bit shorter, like down through this stuff. You can sort of throw it around a little bit easier. All right, I haven't mentioned the drivetrain yet. We say it's the first time I've used this. Feels pretty much, oh man, could have done that with a bit more aggression. Feels pretty much like any other thing, like GX Eagle, I'm waffling as usual. Interestingly to say, the owner wants to upgrade it to make it wireless, and I don't think you have to change everything to do it. You can sort of add a bit of gubbins to it, and the reason he wants to do that is so he can access the smooth shift feature, which is where literally you could change gears and it'll just change gears while coasting, and it's actually quite a cool feature. So yeah, he quite wants to do that. But yeah, you have to have the electric shifting wired into the bike so the two can talk to each other. But in terms of this one, yeah, absolutely works. Does what it says on the tin, works just fine. Oh, I like this little bit through here. Oh, it's super fun little bit of track, this stuff through here, if you can pick your lines right. Very much a nice little playful bike. You can sort of throw it around and pop it and hop it, which is kind of what I like in a bike. Alright, bit of drop zone on the Amflow with, put the X5 back on, and the idea of the game here is to not touch any of the wood downslope. So you do it off this one, and then you drop down to there, skip over there, and then again jump over to there, little double there, and then again this one, completely land down there. That's great fun. Alright, how about a quick speed test, eh? We put it in boost. There you go. Alrighty, 43, 44. So which way I'm going? 45, 46, 45. Yeah, you'd never be riding this fast in the trails anyway, or very rarely.
All right, well, what have we learned? Well, I'm actually cold and wet now. It started bucketing down with rain on the way back. I was trying to weigh up, if you know my normal reviews at Woodhill, as to whether I hit up the big aviator jump line at the end. I felt confident, I was keen, I was a bit nervous because of the guy and it's his bike and all that sort of thing, but then the heavens open and I won't ride that wood in the wet on my own bike, and I'm certainly not going to do it on someone else's bike. So I'm kind of glad that higher powers intervened and I didn't have to make that decision. So we didn't do a lot of jumping on this, but it was a really fun jumping bike. Size. This is a really weird one. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, we're talking 2 centimeters here, aren't we, really? I mean, I know the last 2 centimeters is the important 2 centimeters, but we're still talking 2 centimeters. But I think I'd probably go the large. I think either bike would suit me fine, but I think I'd probably go the large after I thought about it. I think it's just maybe just a smidgen short, but as I say, I don't know. Hopefully that gives you some sort of a guide anyway. In terms of the Amflow PL Carbon Pro and this one, in terms of handling, fun, enjoyment, I actually enjoyed this one more. There's definitely something, this shock felt better for sure. It felt plusher, it felt more playful. I just really like the rear shock. I don't know why. I played around with the factory one on the Pro model, but just never really got it as good as this one feels, and I don't really know why. Fork, probably, I can't, as I say, very, very similar. I think the guy who rides this obviously knows a little bit about the bike, and he's got things set up pretty well. He's made a few adjustments. He's even adjusted the the stem on this. Not sure if he just liked the pretty blue. He said something about stiffness, but anyway, so he's done that. As I say, he also changed the rotors, and they did say, although these are slightly lower spec, they're the 5s rather than the 7s. Again, these felt better than the 7s on the Pro. Whether they've just bedded in more, I don't know, but actually there may be something in that, so you may want to try that if you're a little bit underwhelmed with your Magura brakes. So yeah, if you're choosing the Pro model or this one, I mean, there's obviously things like the drivetrain to consider. I know the owner of this bike is keen to get the wireless so that you get that smooth shift, so when you're going along you can change gear without pedaling. Also, I think that also brings in the chain protection function that's in here as well. But that's not something that you have to have. Obviously, I think the Pro comes with carbon wheels and a few other nice things. But in terms of riding, and again, maybe I don't know if we're just at Woodhill, but I really did enjoy riding this thing. One thing I did get, I've just measured these bars, they're 780. I think I'm going home and I'm going to cut a centimetre off each end and make them 780 down from 800. I think it's actually a little bit nicer, and I haven't ridden a bike that's just a little bit narrower, and so I think that's pretty cool. The other thing is I mentioned about the Teewing, and rode the Teewing recently, and it was a medium, and so virtually the same size, same geometry, and to be honest, they felt very similar, very playful, very poppy. I enjoyed them both. So if you were choosing one of them, I think I would just go pretty much on a few factors. Obviously, one, there's the aesthetics of the bike. This is basically a stump jumper. The Teewing is a GT Force, if you want it on simple terms, and so it depends on how you like the look on the bike. I do like the fact that I think on both bikes you can get a full-size bottle cage, which I think on the Pro, on the medium, you can't actually fit the bottle in there, so that may be another reason that you might choose this one over the Pro. But in terms of the Teewing and this bike, as I say, you just have to weigh up the price, the spec, where you're getting it from, all those sort of things. But in terms of handling, they were very similar. Anyway, I'm waffling as usual, but the important part about the video is that I had fun, and I did have a lot of fun. If you learned something and found it helpful, well, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you. And don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, like. Love hearing your comments. I always work my way. Saturday nights, comments night. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.